guess I'm ready.
Go.
Hey folks, I'm gonna make corn salad. I've been promising this for a while, and it is corn season here in Minnesota. So this is a really easy salad. One of the things that I like about it is that there is very little measuring. I just kind of do it like I do most of my cooking, just measure off the cuff. So what I have here is 6 ears of corn and a little thing of tomatoes and some fresh mozzarella and some basil, and those are the main ingredients. And there's a little olive oil and balsamic vinegar, salt and pepper, and that's basically all the ingredients. So I start out by shucking the corn, shucking the corn and then slicing the kernels off. So I just kind of put it in a bowl and then try and unzip the kernels. It's kind of fun. It helps to have a really sharp knife. And after I make this, you get to watch my wife eat the whole thing.
Yup.
That's not true, but she could.
I could.
This is breakfast, this is lunch, this is dinner for her.
It's true. It really
It's
is.
what she talks about when it's not in the fridge. When are you gonna make corn salad? Nice little vegetarian salad. I actually kind of do a version of this too, cooked, where I cut the corn off like this, and then in a pan we'll saute the corn with a little olive oil and then small tomatoes like this until the tomatoes just barely burst, and then again salt and pepper on them, and just great flavors. All right, one more. It helps if you make faces while you're doing this at the corn, or stick your tongue out. All right, corn goes in the robot garbage. So then tomatoes. So what I tend to do with tomatoes is just, these are kind of bigger, like really big grape-sized tomatoes. So I tend to just kind of hold them and cut them once and then roll them over a quarter turn and cut them again and just throw them in there so they split up into multiple little slivers. And if you have a really big knife, you can try and line them up and cut a whole bunch of them at once. And the basil that we got, we have pretty good sun on this side of our house, so we grow basil outside. This is one of our baby plants, actually. It's one that we grew from seed. And I'm not sure exactly what kind of basil is. It may be lemon basil, but all different kinds of basil are good on this. One of the things that I love about this salad is that it's got the sweet of the corn, and then kind of the tang of the tomato and the vinegar and the balsamic vinegar, and salty from the salt, pepper. Sometimes I put cayenne pepper in it to give it a little spice, but just normal salt and pepper with good ingredients is usually all you need. And then the mozzarella, you can use different types of mozzarella. Fresh mozzarella, I think, is the best. And this stuff that I get from a store here in the US called Costco, but it's just fresh little mozzarella balls and they're marinated in oil with herbs. Let me spill that oil on the table. It's a test we do. But I really like the marinade because it's got some garlic and some kind of Italian herbs in it. So one of the things this recipe calls for is olive oil, and I tend to use that oil right out of there because it's got some spices in it already. But you could just use normal, like, extra virgin olive oil or any olive oil, and then put whatever spices in that you like. I think this is like a little oregano, a little dried basil, some garlic. I think we'll put some salt in there.
Our dog Kissy also likes corn.
Is she eating corn?
She's hovering and hoping.
You better film her, because she's important to the recipe.
Kissy, are you very important?
Kissy, what's up? All right. Just a couple more tomatoes to go. Dummy down here. Give me a tomato. Do you need a tomato, Zuzu? Okay. All right.
Zuzu.
So I've got my tomatoes in there, and now I'm gonna do mozzarella. And this stuff comes in oil. And I think you opened this, didn't you?
Is it open badly?
Yeah.
Yeah, I opened it. I stabbed it.
Thank you for that. All right. So then, this is really oily, so I tend to just kind of use a spoon and kind of pick it up and drain some of the oil off. You can buy fresh mozzarella kind of in a tube that's not marinated in oil, and that can be a little less messy than this, but again, the oil and the herbs are tasty, so
Yeah.
use this. And just kind of drain off some of the oil. And how much to use, you know, I kind of go for, well, I just do it by sight, but I honestly try and go for somewhere around the same kind of volume as I have for tomatoes. This cheese is really good. So.
Yes.
So then this I kind of line up and I just usually slice in half like that. So we've got little half pieces. You can put them in quarters, but the tomatoes are really big and chunky, and so
Sorry.
I like it that way. So I'll just cut these in half. It doesn't have to be super neat. All right. All right, so there's our cheese, and then we're gonna do basil.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know where I heard this. Someone told me you're not supposed to cut basil, you're supposed to tear it. Sometimes I cut it because I'm lazy, but...
It releases the oils differently when you cut it.
Really?
Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna just take a few pieces off of this here. Wash them off real quick. This basil is huge. These basil leaves are
Yeah.
delicious. Okay. So then we won't cut it because we're trying to be good.
So you
So
tear
then
it.
I just kind of tear it up into little pieces and drop it in there. It helps if you have a clean fingernail. It does. The fingernail helps to tear it. It's kind of one of those steps that takes a long time, but if you do it right, I think it tastes really good, and then you get really odd-shaped pieces of basil stuck in your teeth, which is gorgeous.
Yes. Wait, are you saying I have something stuck in my teeth?
No, you don't have anything stuck in your teeth.
Yet.
I do, though. I've had this corn salad and then gone to the bathroom afterwards, looked in the mirror and gone, oh my gosh, I'm missing some teeth, and there's some green gunk in its place.
This is the best salad.
One thing I just love about summer cooking like this is that if you just have good ingredients, you really don't need to do a ton of fancy stuff. Like just good corn, good tomatoes, good basil, and some good ingredients. It's not complicated. And you really, it also keeps pretty well. I think we
Oh,
make
yeah.
extra and keep it for a few days. It just kind of marinates.
Mhm.
The tapping soundtrack is the dog's claws on the hardwood floor.
Yeah. Zuzu.
All right, so I think that's enough basil for right now. And then we have olive oil, balsamic, and salt and pepper. So because this stuff has kind of, I don't know if you can see, but it's got a bunch of herbs on the bottom. So I try and stir it up to get it so that the herbs are kind of homogeneous, and then I'll just take a few spoonfuls and kind of drizzle it over. And first, for a salad the size of this, I'd probably do 3 or 4 tablespoons, which this is roughly a tablespoon. And then, so I do that really precise. And then this is just balsamic vinegar. And I measure it very carefully like this. All right, so that's good there. And then salt and pepper. And I like fresh ground if you can. And I like a lot of pepper. So put in more than maybe other people would. And then salt. And then just kind of toss it. You'll see that it gets a little brown to, picks up the balsamic and break up those pieces of torn basil. And then usually, a very scientific way of testing this, which is, Sarah?
I love God.
I'm sorry, what was that?
That's very good.
Roger? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah, that's very good.
All right. Well, I think that's it. She's got something to say about this. So that's the easy corn, tomato, basil salad. I
Ta-da!
hope you enjoyed.